Hey everybody, welcome to episode 23 of the Carrie Rolled On Show, where we spend 30 minutes or so a week having conversations that matter to the entrepreneur's body, mind, and business. I'm your host, Carrie Rolled On, and I'm a wife, a mother, a runner, a best-selling author, a personal growth junkie, and your total business BFF. And I help entrepreneurs to find their niche, create an offer that genuinely serves them, and launch it in a way that resonates and still feels totally authentic. And if this sounds like what you need, then grab my new ebook. It's called Get Where You're Going, Girlfriend: 6 Steps to Actually Achieving Your Outrageous Goals. And in it, you will learn how to get out of your own way, stop self-sabotaging, and get into inspired action now. You'll learn the 3 missing steps in the ask, believe, receive manifestation model, and of course, how and where to get the support you need to create the life and business that you dream of. You can get all that here at carrierolledon.com/ebook. You guys, I created the Carrie Rolled On Show because, as many of you know, I have stumbled, and I continue to, on my entrepreneurial journey, because the road to success thus far has been full of potholes, detours, dead ends, not to mention self-doubt, fear, worry, debt, marital tension, and personal struggle. And I wanted to share what I continue to learn on my journey in the hopes that it will help you guys too. So I have created inside Google Plus a community called Business Besties. I started it for mompreneurs and have found that many of my business besties are not just moms. But if you are a mompreneur, or if you have a heart or a business to serve mompreneurs, just search it out in Google Plus. Head on over to Google Plus, click on Communities, and search Business Besties, and you will find it. And feel free to join the discussion, the community, and the conversation. Speaking of that, I am so excited about today's conversation because my guest today is like singing my song, so much so that when we spoke the first time, I was like, I have to tell my people about this. I just have to, I have to. So on that note, our discussion today is going to be all about something my friend Gina has created called the 6-month Miracle Project. So I have a few questions for you, which is, do you believe in miracles? And maybe a better question might be, what do you believe a miracle to be? And already we've gotten some discussion on this in the comment section, so maybe I'll bring that up in a minute. But what I can say for sure is that miracles are happening to me in my life and business on a regular basis. And yes, I do believe in miracles. The shift in my life and business that has happened over the past several years has been nothing short of miraculous. But it wasn't overnight. And it wasn't like a fall from the heavens sort of thing. It was work, and it was conscious effort, and it was a choice to move in the direction that I wanted my life to move in. Now, A Course in Miracles defines a miracle as a shift in perception. The idea is simple, that as we shift our perception of any situation from fear to love, a miracle occurs. And if you would have asked me 8 years ago what I was afraid of, I might have told you that I wasn't really afraid of much except for harm coming to my children. But if you could have looked deeply into my soul, you would have seen that what I actually couldn't have seen at that time, that I lived in constant fear and anxiety. With a great big heaping dose of worthlessness to go with it. And I felt that I had a lot of the mom guilt that a lot of us moms carry, but I also I felt that I had no say, no value in my marriage since I had stopped working. I was living in a state of being unfulfilled, and I really wasn't sure what to do in order to find fulfillment, to reclaim my worth and begin living what I call, in my book, I call it a full-blown miracle life. Now, I knew I needed to do something, and so my happiness quest began. And my business was birthed from this quest. And I think this is such a common theme among entrepreneurs, that your business is birthed from some sort of awakening, from some sort of soul searching, from spiritual growth. But finding, it's all about us getting to a place where we're searching for our purpose. Now, my business has blossomed out of my own spiritual awakening, and much of this is covered in my best-selling book called Run Yourself Happy, a 5-week training program to release anxiety and create space for miracles. And you guys, I know I'm not alone. I just said that. So many entrepreneurs I serve have similar stories. So here's the million-dollar question. Are you happy yet? Are you still on the quest? Right? So many of us, we started our businesses thinking that happiness is there in the business. But let's get real for a minute. Are you happy yet? And maybe let us know in the comment section, because miracle of all miracles, I got Comment Tracker working today. So let me know what you think. And let's get real. Tell us, are you happy yet? Are you fulfilled? Or is fulfillment somewhere around the next corner? Okay, sorry this is a long intro. You can tell I'm passionate about it. So I'm so excited to interview my friend Gina today, because her story is similar to so many of ours, but she is on a mission to help us all get the full-blown miracle life that we imagine. Gina is a writer and inner peace and transformation coach. She has 3 beautiful children, just like me, who keep her busy and full of love. She spent several years working in the fashion industry, and you guys will know when you see her, she's like stunning and fashionable, but it never felt in line with her heart. While working as a fashion consultant and editor, she made up her mind to master everything she could about the law of attraction, mind-body connections, personal development, and inner peace. I told you, we're like so aligned. She became a certified Reiki healer. She found mentors. She took courses such as Mastering the Path of the Peaceful Warrior, and she began to study A Course in Miracles. But at 35 years old, a profound shift in her spiritual life prompted her to leave her post as founder and editor-in-chief of a digital fashion magazine and devote her life to helping other women find peace and power amidst the chaos and uncertainty. So Gina has created something called the 6-Month Miracle Project, and I cannot wait to put her beautiful face on the screen, introduce her, and say hello. So on that note, Gina, I would really like to do that, only my screen is frozen. Oh, here we go. My calendar reminder letting me know my show is starting. Gina, I'm putting your face on the screen, so say hello.
Hi, Carrie. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. You know, it's so funny when somebody else introduces you, you're like, wow, that sounds really interesting, everything. We never give ourselves enough credit for the journey, so thank you. That was lovely, and I'm happy to be here.
Oh, thank you for being here, and you're so welcome, because I think it's funny. I was watching my friend Lisa Ingalls' show, and she introduced someone, and they said, like, quite earnestly, wow, that was such a great introduction. I couldn't have said that better myself. And she goes, you did say it. I took it from your website. So I thought that was great. Okay, before we get going, I just want to, I'm actually going to bring up a comment right away, because I know Pamela is here and I know Jim is here, and Pamela said something great, and is miracles can often be subtle, but I always smile when they appear. It's a feeling of being connected with a greater source and that everything is okay. So thank you for that, Pamela. And now my question for you, Gina, because it is sort of an important one, and I think we'll get the ball rolling for our whole conversation, which is, when I introduced you, I said at 35 this profound shift happened. So what was it? What was the shift that happened?
You know, I'll try to give you the abridged version, and please feel free to cut me off. You know, I was on the surface. Everything was great. You know, I'm married. I've been married for 12 years. I had 2 kids at the time, and I had launched a digital fashion magazine called Front Row Monthly, and took off overnight. We somehow landed celebrities on our cover. We had the whole cast of Dancing with the Stars. We were being invited to New York Fashion Week, and it was something that I had always wanted to do. So I should have been really excited and thrilled, and I wasn't, because it blew up overnight, and it was just me running it from my house, and I was working 24/7. I then found out I was pregnant with my third baby. I was pouring money into it. My husband and I were fighting, and I was just so discouraged that something that I had dreamed about from the time I was a teenager had finally materialized, and it was nothing like I thought it was going to be. And I looked around one day and I thought, wow, nothing in my life is how I thought it was going to be. My marriage doesn't look how I want it to look. My finances don't look how I thought they would look. I should be settled now. And long story short, I had what I know now was a panic attack, and I had never had one. They're terrifying, and I was worried that my kids were going to find me unconscious on the floor. And I just made up my mind that I was never going to feel that way again. I was never going to feel that out of control. So I had heard about a meditative labyrinth at a nearby convent, and I went and I walked it. And as I sat there, for a couple of hours, this list of principles started coming to me, and it sounds really woo-woo and crazy, but I ran to my car and I emailed them to myself. And as I started implementing them, the miracles that happened in my life, it gives me chills to think about. I started a business that made more money in 6 months than I had in years. I was losing thousands with the magazine, and then here I was in 6 months, profitable. My husband and I reconnected and figured out how to how to be compassionate with each other and how to be connected. New friendships born, the lifestyle that I always wanted, so that I could be here for my kids. And I realized that for someone like me who had truly given up hope, I truly thought, this is just the hand I'm dealt. I'm going to feel empty and disconnected from my husband. I'm never going to have money. That's how I felt. And if those principles could work for me, they could work for anybody. And I packaged them into a 7-week program just to see if anyone was interested. And straight out of the gate, I got 504 women. And it amazed me. I had people I hadn't heard from in years saying, wow, nobody talks about this. But it's true. We walk around and we volunteer at school and we smile and we go to parent night, and it's difficult because when there's no obvious trauma, we think we should be okay, and we feel guilty for needing more. But it's that quiet desperation that's really painful, because nobody in your life, even the people closest to you, realize how much you're struggling. So we turned that 7-week version into the full 6-month Miracle Project, and it's amazing. I'm so thrilled that we're able to do that. I know that was a long-winded version. I said abridged. It spanned several years.
No, so oh my God, so good. And I have to take a second just to tell you all the parallels because they're freaky deaky. And and I see Mel is here, so hi Mel. Good afternoon. But before I even move on, I would just want to give you guys the link, because I know that while Gina was talking, I was getting goosebumps and starting to sweat. So that just means I'm so resonating with your story and can so relate, and what that means is that so many people watching can, which is why you immediately had 500 and something people sign up for your 7-week little thing. So just go to this link, carrierolldon.com/miracles, and you just need to have it right now. We'll talk more about what that is, but I want to give it right now because it is a 4-day course. It's kind of like an introduction to miracles. And if Gina's story just resonated with you the way that it did with me, go there, and the next 4 days will be incredibly valuable to you. But here's our scary similarities, is that you said it in different words, right? But you talked about reaching success and looking around and being like, what the hell is this? Mm-hmm. And I have said this phrase over and over again, and my story was so similar. I had the life I thought I wanted, mm-hmm. and was utterly unfulfilled, just utterly unfulfilled. And so I I kind of want to pose a question to you guys watching, especially those of you who are entrepreneurs, who have done what Gina did, right? She launched this magazine. She created a successful business, right? Or the image of success. And it was hollow inside, right? Her life wasn't what she wanted it to be. So I just wanted to tell you, my husband and I, too, have been married. This is our 12th year of marriage, and we also have 3 kids. And just like you, there was a little bit of a gap between the first 2 and the third. So I'm finding, and my like awakening came, I don't know, somewhere between 30 and 35. So I'm thinking that this, well, there's some similarities that are a little like too aligned to be universal experience. I do think this is a universal thing, hitting your 30s and looking around and going, holy crap, is this what I really want? So I'm going to put you back on the screen because I want to ask you specifically, like, what was the first step that you took? What was, from hitting that place of kind of a rock bottom, right? What was the first step that you took? What did you do?
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know if it was the first step I took, but it was certainly the most important, and that was the miracle of responsibility. I really enjoyed blaming everything on my husband. If there were an award for that, I would have definitely won it. And it's, for yes, of course he has his faults, but no one is responsible for your happiness. No one's even responsible for your financial stability. And I realized that I held so much resentment for him and yet had done nothing to alleviate either of those situations. I had done nothing to even try to go get a job or try to do, I mean, of course I had the magazine, but I was pouring money into it rather than getting money out of it. And I just realized all of the places in my life where I was in blame, where I was pushing the responsibility onto someone else, and that's a biggie. That's a biggie. And I would say the other one that really had to come first was the miracle of proactive peace. And for me, that's not really giving any attention to what my husband does or how he handles things or how the woman down the street handles things or whatever. It's who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? And if I decided I am a peaceful, happy, serene person, that's who I am, regardless of what's happening externally, regardless of any triggers. You decide who you are, and every moment you can choose to be that person, regardless. That was a huge shift for me.
So again, I always say this on my show, but like I wish you guys could see me as I'm reacting to Gina, because yes, oh my God, yes, and more yes. I just had this conversation with a friend of mine where we were talking about, God, it's so easy in our marriages or in any relationship that we're in, right, to make the other person the enemy. Instead of making the thing, right, making it about whatever the thing is, of the argument, the stressor, right, instead of making that thing, I don't want to say the enemy, but making it about what it's about, we make it about the other person. We blame just because it is so easy.
Well, you know what, it's funny because it's not even just about people. We blame the economy. We blame time. There are a lot of things we blame for not having everything we want to have, and it's all bullshit. Excuse my language. It is. It's all a big story we tell ourselves so that we don't have to be responsible. But responsibility is the bridge to miracles. It truly is, and I see that every day with myself and every day with my clients. It changes everything. It's just the ability to respond, and if you really think about it, nobody here would give away their ability to respond to life and to situations, and yet we're so shy about really owning it.
Amen, sister. Yeah, oh my gosh, so we are speaking speaking the same language, it's freaky deaky, but then it's actually not freaky deaky, right? Just like you said, I can't remember what you said at the beginning of the show, I think we have a tendency to downplay what I believe is happening on the planet, which is just that we are awakening and we are evolving as souls and as human beings, and these things that we're talking about that used to be sort of taboo to talk about or eye-rolling to talk about, right, are now like they resonate with so many of us. So you talked about you said you received, I think you said you called them pillars.
Yeah, I mean, principles of I guess principles of peace is what I called them when I first started out. I mean, that's how I launched my business. I built my business off of that day. But so much has happened now, and I realized a couple months into that business, actually almost over a year into that business, that I really love to write, and I'm an artist at heart, and I had been published as a photographer in international magazines. I had been in fashion, and I thought, that part of me is missing. So I really started thinking about the miracle of my personal creed. And your creed, of course, is your values and it's your beliefs, but it's also the day-to-day things that you just like. And we talk about that in the 4-day course because, so often as we get busy and we get bogged down by obligation and our kids and everything, we forget that there were things we just preferred and enjoyed, and we forget to fold them into our lives. And I brought that back in, and I ended up opening a second division of my company for branding and copying, and it took off. I had that little whisper of, you really liked that and you were good at it. Where is it? So that's one of the miracles, is learning to build your personal creed and making sure that you're living it. So, I will say at its core, this is a business course. This is a business course. The more I apply these miracles to my work life, the more money I make, the more clients I have, and the more I feel aligned with what I'm doing. I see so many people who are pouring money into Facebook ads to promote a business that they don't even like. It's about building something. It's not a freedom lifestyle if it's not making you happy, if it's not giving you the results that the reason you started it in the first place. So for me, mastering yourself is step one. Really knowing who you are and how you're meant to serve, listening to your instincts, folding in your personal creed and what makes you you, that's step one to business brilliance.
So I'm so glad this is being recorded because sometimes I just can't take it all in like fast enough. And you just spoke already you just spoke some words that I've forgotten, right? But something about step one to business brilliance that I just need to tell you what is happening for me in my business, which is exactly what you talked about, is that I've spent so much time trying, like I had my inspired idea, right? My inspired thing, and like, oh yeah, this is what I want to bring to the world. And then I instantly, and I talk about this on my show a lot, that I instantly said like, okay, thanks for the inspiration. I'll take it from here. Oh, I just saw my hand. So there was a freak nail polish incident in my house this morning with my 4-year-old. So now that you all see, so you're not wondering, that's what happened. But I think that, so what's happened in my business is I tried to squeeze myself into a business model, into a formula, into a blueprint, into whatever it is that's being sold, and struggled and struggled and struggled and struggled. And when I finally said, just F it all, I'm just going to do what makes me happy, miracles happened. Exactly what you're talking about, like clients, money, like ease flowed into my life and my business. And I think that's such an interesting thing, so I just want you to comment on it, is like, why do we do that as human beings? Why do we make it so hard?
Well, I think if you're talking about business, I think you have to walk a very delicate line, because there are certainly, and you know this, there are certainly things that work on a universal scale. We all know, there are certain marketing things you're supposed to do and whatever, but at the end of the day, it's your story that makes you unique. Your DNA, which for me is your differentiating natural attributes.
Ooh, I
That's
like
the
that.
only thing. Yeah, that's the only thing that your competition cannot duplicate. So it's really important that you tap into, as an entrepreneur, what makes you you. What, and I think you've probably heard me say this before. I say this to my brand alignment clients all the time. What problem do you solve that a Google search can't? What unique element are you folding in that they can't get from just a Google search? And it's really funny how people think, wow, I'm actually taking it a step further by doing this. It really helps shine a light on what makes you you, because if you're just following the mold, you're a red apple in a bin of red apples. You've really got to tap into what makes you unique. And it works the same for life. You become CEO of your life the more you own your truth and your creed.
Oh my God, so good. So good. So I'm sure you hear this, but you are a brilliant woman.
Aw, thank you.
So I know everyone hears my dog barking. I do want to give that link again and I'll post it in the comment section, but go, you guys, to carrieroldan.com/miracles, and it will take you to Gina's page where you can enroll in the 4-day course, or the sort of like a 4-day mini course, right? But this is so exciting that your 6-month miracle project is it's exciting to me to recognize it's not just about personal happiness, right? It is, I mean, like you're saying, it is at its core a business course. So I have some pretty strong beliefs about business and happiness, but are you finding that in your clients? Is it a common theme among people who you're attracting, that there isn't a whole lot of I'm losing the word. There's not a whole lot of difference, right, between what makes you personally happy and what's going to make you successful in business?
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things that inspired me to make this a bigger project even than I was thinking of making it. Was, I'm blessed to be in mastermind groups with entrepreneurs. One of my groups has 12,000, not that I run, but that I'm a part of. And that these issues of fear of competition and of self-worth and all that junk and all the shoulds and the coulds and the whatever, those sabotage your business success. If you can learn to be CEO of your life, you can learn to be CEO of your business. If you can own who you are in your life, you're going to own who you are as a brand. They are so tightly connected, and it's really interesting to me to see people finally make that connection and start to really see that the miracles don't discriminate to one area of your life. These are principles that can be applied to your marriage, to your friendships, to your body. The miracle of responsibility and all that stuff, and the miracle of source. Marriage, body, business. It doesn't matter where you're applying it. When you master yourself, you're going to start seeing results across the board.
Oh my gosh, I love it, I love it, I love it. And I know Gina can see me when she's on the screen, but none of the rest of you can. Like, this is just music to my ears. This is what I think, especially as women entrepreneurs, and I don't mean to knock men, but I do feel like the model of how we do business is shifting, and it's shifting from very masculine and compartmentalized and separate to so much more feminine, and so that's my dog in the background. So much more collaborative and not competition based. And what you are saying is just resonating. I want to remind everybody to go to carrieroldan.com/miracles. And I do want to put up Pamela's comment because she sums it up really nicely. So this is a comment to what we said a few minutes ago, but she said, that's my new mantra too, Carrie. Don't do anything that doesn't feel right. And so true, Gina. When we are uniquely ourselves, that is the end of competition. So,
Mm-hmm.
Pamela, you are wise as always.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, I think just what you're saying about when you master yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you're right. Like that's why my mission is supporting entrepreneurs in body, mind, and business because they're interconnected. So Gina, I can't believe it. Our time is totally up. Would you? I'm going to put you on screen. Do you have any parting words? Any words of brilliance, wisdom?
Oh,
No
geez,
pressure.
pressure. No, I just want to say to anybody who's watching that I don't think a half an hour is even enough for me to illustrate how sad and how hopeless and empty that I felt. And if I can change that, if I can build this life that I'm in love with that allows me to work and serve in the way that's most authentically me and have lunch with my mom and be with my baby, I have three, but my little one's still home. Anyone can do this. It is truly a choice. I started my business as 30 seconds to peace because it's a 30-second choice to say, I'm done. I'm done feeling anything but amazing. Life's too short. So if you're not getting the results you want, there's a way. There's a way, and I hope you'll at least take a bite of the Miracle Project by doing the free 4-day course. It's fun. It's different. It's fun, and I think you're going to enjoy it.
Thank you, Gina. Thank you so much just for being who you are, for doing what you do. Like we've only actually, Gina and I connected once over a hangout from I was in love with some of the things that she was posting on Facebook and said, hey, I think I like you. We should connect. And we kind of went back and forth. And just I mean, the minute she said 6-month Miracle Project, I was like, I don't even know what it is. I'm in. You need to be on my show. We talked about. So, Gina, I just really appreciate you being here and being who you are, and everybody who is watching. And I'm going to be plastering this replay all over everywhere that I belong, just because your message resonates so much. It is so important. So
thank you for having me. This was fun. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. And if you guys out there, if you are anywhere on the journey, if you're in the quiet desperation place, or if wherever you are on the journey, just do it. Go to carrierwelldawn.com/miracles. You can get Gina's 4-day course, and just who knows where it's going to take you. But for sure, at the end of those 4 days, I'm betting, I'm going to put your face on one more time, they're going to get info about the 6-month Miracle Project.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, they can check out all the details. I think the link is on day 4 of the 4-day course, and really, really think about where you want to be a year from now, and make the choice. Make the choice. The creating miracles is something that can be learned. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah. Oh, amen to that. Okay, so I have to close it out because we are like 3 minutes over, and I do my best to be respectful of everyone's time. So I just want to say that is all the time we have for today. Thank you, thank you, thank you, those of you who are here live, and so many of you who I know told me you are going to be watching on replay. I so appreciate you guys, and please continue the conversation below. Leave your comments, whether you're watching in YouTube or on the Google Plus event page, because I just think this is such a conversation worth having. And that's my whole goal in my show. If you haven't already, go to carrierwelldawn.com/ebook to get my 6 steps, and also carrierwelldawn.com/miracles to get Gina's 4 days. And here's a great big virtual hug from me. I'm just so pleased to be with you on this journey, you guys. And last thing is, join us next week, same time, same channel, as I'm going to interview somebody else who I'm just so completely aligned with. Her name is Sarah Michael, and she's going to be talking about, for us entrepreneurs, how to raise our rates the right way, right? A way that is in alignment with us and our purpose and our clients. So I'm excited for that conversation too. I will see you guys all next week.